Morning, Trainiacs. Starting off the day the same way we start every single day. Giant glass of water. Rehydrates after sleep and prepares me to go out and bike in this 30 degree 6:15 a.m. weather. Translation for the US friends, around 90. My light little Winnipeg skin and untrained Winnipeg chubby tummy is not pumped up about this. But hey, we're riding again. So over the weekend, I did my very first bike ride back since the varicose vein surgery that I had about 2.5 weeks ago, and the very first run that I did back. It was just a 2-hour ride and a 30-minute run. I survived. No issues here, no soreness, but damn was my heart rate high. I obviously lost a lot of fitness in that 2.5 weeks and resting leading up to a little shovey there, Grace. Lost a lot of fitness, and at the same heart rate, like my zone 2 heart rate, instead of being able to hold 180 watts, I was holding like 150 watts. Instead of being able to hold a 5:10 kilometer, I was holding a 6-minute kilometer. I knew that would happen. That's part of the deal. But then the next question is, all right, I got that rude awakening of how unfit I am very quickly. How do I gain it back? I think we'll talk about that today, because I'm going to start putting together a training schedule to start at least getting back to being able to train. You going to help, Pete? Why are you always so shy of the camera? The camera loves you. You don't like all the bugs that bite your bum though, right? Oh, I hate them, Dad. I'd hate them too. This is good. It's really good. This week is not going to be really much training. Like, there's a difference between training and exercising. In my opinion, last week was exercise. So it being, I think, at 12 days from my surgery, I started exercising with a 30-minute swim in the swim spa every day. And then on the weekend, just did what I felt like, which was a 2-hour ride and then a 30-minute run. And this week is going to be kind of similar. I want to transition my way back into training. Like, training, I'd say, is exercising with a purpose. The purpose of this? Fun. There are few things in the world that are as fun when you're 40 as when you were 4. And biking is one. So today the goal, just be on my bike for 60 minutes. And try to look damn good doing it. At least I've got half of those accomplished already. Oh yeah! Done. 60 cruisy minutes. Just listening to podcasts, looking good. All right, so here's how I'm gonna look at getting fit again. And if you've been off training, here's how you can look at getting fit again. This is a really good sort of just like a baseline building frequency back into training and just being able to, well, we call it like training to be able to train. The main train to get ready for any distance race is done in the race season, but the getting ready to accept that load in the race season, you've got to like train to get ready to do that. So like that's kind of what we're doing. It's just building back in that frequency so that we can start building in a little bit more intensity down the road. So I'm going to use Training Peaks to map this out on teamtrainiac.com. That's our training app. We're actually going to be building in the ability to do stuff like this over the next, towards the end of 2020. But for now, I'll map this out in Training Peaks because we can at least show it a little bit easier to you. So what I want to do first and foremost is swim, bike, run. I want to have 3 of each of those workouts every single week, and then 2 strength workouts. And the reason for that is like at 3 swims, 3 bikes, 3 runs, you're making significant progress. 2 swims, 2 bikes, 2 runs, that'll get you sufficient, but at 3, that's where you start seeing some significant progress. Strength training is a little bit different. 2 per week is plenty. So let's start by putting that in. All right, so what I've got is now 3 bikes, 3 swims, 3 runs. Now, how do I break that down? Well, number 1, I definitely want a bike on the weekend and I want a run on the weekend. I like to do it as bikes on Saturday, runs on Sunday, because you want to be able to run with fatigue in the legs, like that's what's going to happen on race day. So what we do on teamtrainiac.com, what I like to do is bike on Saturday, run on Sunday, so you're running with some fatigue in the legs. Then you want to space out your running and your biking. You don't want to run on consecutive days because that leads to a little bit of likelihood of injury. You don't want to necessarily bike on consecutive days. You want a frequency of signaling. You want to remind your body spaced out throughout the week what it is like to swim, bike, and run. So I'll just start by putting in a bike on a Thursday and a bike on a Tuesday, and that spaces them out pretty well. I'll do the same thing with the running. Space that out to a run on the Friday and a run on the Wednesday. Again, that spaces it out fairly well. So that leaves then the swimming. So we want to also space out the swimming similarly. So we can do it like this. I like to wake up in the morning and do a swim first thing in the morning. It's just a little bit easier to do something that's less impact. Then where do we want strength? I like putting strength on days that are otherwise also intense. I don't like to have strength done on days that are supposed to be not intense, because that's going to take away from the recovery aspect of that not intense day. I also like to have a little bit of recovery on Mondays and Fridays. So that means here that we want to have Monday is lighter, Friday is lighter. That means our strength works out really well to be on a Tuesday or a Thursday. And that's an excellent starting training plan. But what workouts do we do on which days? Well, the first thing that we need to do in triathlon training is we need to have an endurance workout. We need to have workouts that are building our ability to go longer. So that's where we're going to make this bike here on the weekend, because I've got a little bit more time. Everyone tends to have more time on the weekend. Bike, we will go an endurance bike. In my case, I'm just going to make this somewhere in between 2 and 3 hours, which for me, not very long, not very short. It's just kind of like decent maintenance. The run, I'll do the same thing because I've got more time. I'll call this an endurance run. In my case, this is going to be somewhere in between 60 minutes and an hour 45 roughly, and I will try to make this hilly. That'll end up making it more beneficial. If it's really low intensity but nice and hilly, that's going to make the legs fairly strong. On teamtrainiac.com, I prescribe a lot of long, low intensity hill or trail runs to keep that physical strength up for the runs. Then what we need to do next in triathlon training is we need to have some sort of hard, fast stimulus, that top end, the VO2 max, which is the maximum amount of oxygen that we can process in a given minute. To do that, you need to go intense. So I want to have, even though I want this to be very recovery focused, I want to have at least one intense session a week. And it's easier to do that on the bike than the run, because when you're running really intense, very hard on the body. So I'm actually going to make this Tuesday morning bike ride, a group hard ride. So that's going to get the VO2 max for the bike. On the run, because Friday is going to be a recovery focused day, low intensity here, I'm going to have a little bit of intensity over here in this run. So what I'm going to do in this is so that, again, it's not super hard and super intense, but it allows my body to just hit that top end of intensity. I'm going to do something like 4 times 30 seconds. Just of like fast pickups here. So what I've got is an easy swim Monday, a hard VO2 max group ride on Tuesday, which is going to be about 60 to 90 minutes, a 30-minute strength session. Wednesday, an easier swim, and then a 30-minute run later in the day, including somewhere around 4 30-second pickups, just to remember how to turn over the legs. Thursday is going to be an easier 60-minute bike, something more like today. We're going to have a more intense strength session here on Thursday. Friday is going to be recovery focused, easy 30-minute swim in the morning, easy 30-minute run, and then doing some low intensity, very low intensity, sub-Maffetone method heart rate, zone 2 or lower kind of riding and running, but a little bit longer. So what I'm going to end up with is roughly around 7 to 10 hours a week of training with only about 1 hour of it being intense. And that's why we have that 80-20, that polarized train, that pyramidal model, that vast majority of your train being at low intensity, little bit of the training at high intensity. That allows us to make sure that we're going to have the endurance to go really long, and we're going to be able to function really well. We're going to be able to process all the oxygen to go really well. So that's what I'm going to do. This is my return to activities. I'm excited. Now, do I have a story for you out here? This sunshade has been the bane of my existence for the past month. So right now we've got these strung up on each corner with these turnbuckles, but what I did last year was I just tied it up with thick rope that they sent out with this thing. But basically within a grand total of like a week, all the rope had stretched a little bit, so this thing was sagging. It wasn't tight like this. So over the course of the winter, I think, how can I actually get this really nice and tight and stable, but not have it fixed? Well, I come up with this turnbuckle idea. So at the end of the season, we just untighten this, we unhook it, and then everything is still here. And then all we have to do at next season, hook it back in, tighten all the turnbuckles up. Great, in theory, right? Not so much. Well, we've got these things tied in with aircraft cable, and it is in like massive, massive tension. As we're tightening all of these, we're starting to hear all of the threads starting to pull, and all the pulling on the wood. Well, I wake up one morning, a few days after we finish this, to this. Boom, the aircraft cable snapped. A few days later, this one over here, aircraft cable, snaps. A few days after that, this one over here, the wood pulls right out of the entire frame. I have been in a battle with this for a month. So what we did just recently was I upgraded the aircraft cable from like 1/8 inch thick to big, heavy duty, like 10,000 pound test, 1/4 inch thick aircraft cable. And so far so good. Being up here, however, I would love for the video if one of these snapped while I was talking about it. So anyway, that's what's up. Just up here walking a tightrope on a neighbor's fence. It's okay, they're cool with it. So with that said, Trainiacs, if you tuned in for a little bit more specific triathlon training plan generation, you can check out a couple of the videos that we did over here and here that I think would probably interest you. Later, Trainiacs.